Come out this morning to this field of laid barley, the maiden voyage of Field Sports Ireland, and you look at it now and there's nothing on it. I was here quite early this morning. There was a good flight line of birds going across it. It's a big town about a mile away. A lot of birds roost down there. But I shot this field last week over on the far side. We shot 200 off it and we just shot a flight line. But I came here yesterday evening just to scout, and there was 400 or 500 pigeons just on these flat patches where we're standing now. So I'm fairly confident they're going to come back this evening. Combines are rolling in this area, so there's a good chance a lot of the birds will have moved off to stubble. But as I say, the roosting area is down there. Good flight line across this field in general, so we should get some birds coming back later on. Set the hide up, connected to an electricity pole. I'm not a massive fan of setting up out in the field. I know it works well in the UK, but it doesn't always work well here. Why, I don't know. But we're going to try it, see if the birds accept it. If not, stand the trees over here on the left. They're a good flight line. So if the birds don't accept the hide out in the field here, we'll move and we'll set up under those trees, which I know is a natural flight line for the birds. Enforcer flying decoy, plastic body and foam wings. And with a bit of breeze like this, they have a beautiful action on them. Basically just to mimic a pigeon flying into the pattern of decoys. Traditionally we've always used just floaters with a dead pigeon on it. But these are, the way they're balanced with the flex in the pole and then the weight of the body with the foam wings, just catches the wind beautifully and just gives a nice bit of movement. Good colours on them as well. They're good size. I've used them half a dozen times now and they seem to work really well. So I've got a couple of different shells to try today. I've got the Clear Pigeon 32g 6 in fibre wad. The quality of these is exceptional, and just the way I've set up today, because the decoys are a little bit further from the hide than I'd like them to be, just due to the fact that that's where the pigeons are feeding. I've got some of the Game Boar Pigeon Extreme 34g 5 in a fibre, and these had the diamond shot, so I've got a bag of these with me today just in case the birds aren't coming quite into range of the 32g 6s. Now all we need is some birds. When barley gets this ripe, pigeons struggle to digest it quickly, so they'll usually only feed twice a day, once in the morning and once in the evening. When it's greener and milkier, then they can digest it much quicker. So they'll hang around the field all day, feed 3 or 4 times, maybe 5 times a day. As I say, when it's gone this ripe, they'll only feed twice a day. So you'll get a good hit of pigeons in the morning. They'll go away to roost for a few hours and then they'll start coming back after lunch. So hopefully, it's 1:45 now, hopefully by sort of 1:30, I'd expect the flight line to start working again and we should have pigeons crossing this field and wanting to get in on these patches. It's an M2 GMK sent me, and I've never had a Benelli semi-auto. I had a couple of other brands years ago and they were just hard to clean, difficult to look after. Some of them were unreliable, but Benelli's inertia system is renowned for its reliability and so easy to clean. There's no gas ports in here. So even after thousands of shells, there's no dirt or grime or anything gets in around the mechanism. It's really, really simple. Very few moving parts. And the inertia system absorbs a lot of the recoil as well. It's really smooth to shoot, even heavier cartridges for such a light gun. Very, very light, good handling. And most gamekeepers I know use a Benelli M2, so that sort of speaks volumes about the hardship they'll put up with and the reliability of them. Yeah, they're just starting to come now. They're getting a little bit of confidence with the decoy pattern, but ideally I'd like to hide 10 yards further down. We're a good 45, 50 yards off the main body of the pattern, which is on that big flat patch. And probably if I was here on my own, I would have risked putting the hide a little bit further down in the field, really small hide with a roof on it. Covered it in barley, but just when there's two of us and all the camera gear, I don't think they'd have accepted the hide down there, so we're having to take pretty stretchy shots. And to be fair, at the moment, the clear pigeon are killing those really, really well. And the crow had said to me not to use too tight a choke with them, so I just have quarter choke in, and some of those birds are 50-55 yards away and they're dropping nicely, which yeah, it's giving me great confidence in the kit. Pigeon coming on the right. Kind of restricted here with just using the flat patches that the pigeons had been feeding on. Really, I've just sort of made use of the patches that are in range, and was expecting most of the pigeons to be coming from this side, so I've put the decoys sort of to the side of the flat patches where they're going to be easier for them to see them coming from that way. I haven't tucked them in under the standing corn, but when I was here yesterday, there was 200-300 pigeons jammed into these couple of patches, so they're well used to dropping in onto them with a lot of birds in them. You can more or less have them set up in general facing into the wind, because pigeons like to land into the wind. That's why we're seeing these ones coming across in front, swinging up and wanting to drop in with the wind in their face. Same the ones that are swinging around behind us, wanting to drop in. We haven't had very many come straight through here and want to get in. They don't like to land with the wind in their tails, which makes me confident for this evening's flight line. If they're coming back from a different feed area to these roost woods, they should be coming across here, see the decoys and just drop in nicely. That's the theory. Lots of birds moving now. Try not hit me with the camera as I stand up. It's taken them a couple of hours, but flight lines are opening up everywhere now. Those birds there you can see going past, they've just come off the roost and they're heading for their evening feed. Unfortunately, they're not wanting to drop into this field, those particular ones, but we've just started in the last 15-20 minutes to get quite a few birds. I wouldn't say decoying well, but they're coming close enough for a look. And I've moved on to the Game Board Pigeon Extreme 34 gram 5-0, and I've been absolutely blown away by them, to be honest. The kills I'm getting, for me as a mediocre shot, they've just added an extra dimension to my shooting. They've probably put 10 yards on what I'm capable of killing. Maybe it's the fact that George's name is on them, but there's definitely a little bit of magic with them. You'll see from the shot cam footage that we'll put with this film, the lead on some of these birds, or the lead as I see it, is quite significant. Some of those crossers are maybe 55, 60 yards away. And people see lead differently. I have showed some of my shot cam footage to friends who they don't believe that the reticle is actually zeroed, because they shoot a swing through method, as in they come from behind the bird and push through much faster. They don't see as big a lead picture because it's more gun speed that they're using, but also by the time they see the lead that they want and pull the trigger, the gun has moved that much further. I use a mixture of pull away and maintained lead, so it's very easy to see exactly the lead I've put on a shot. Most crossing birds, I'll use maintained lead. A straight driven bird, I'll use pull through, because I'm left eye dominant, so I have to close my left eye when I'm shooting. So straight on bird, I can't actually see it when I'm pulling the trigger, so I'll start behind it, pull through, and then just use timing to shoot it. But hopefully the footage from the shot cam should show the lead really well on some of these longer crossers. A lot of people don't like shot cams. Personally, I love them. For me, as I say, a mediocre shot, it's very helpful to look back and you can see a trend in your misses more than anything. Just the last few weeks since I've been using it, I've seen that I've been shooting over a lot of birds. Behind that one, I could see that I'd been shooting over a lot of birds. Not by much, but just getting used to a new gun. I was obviously just not shouldering it correctly and not coming through the bird on the right line. And it was quite easy to correct then, because everybody always thinks that they're either in front or behind the bird, but it's just as easy to be above or below on a crosser and out to one side of a straight on bird or a going away bird. And I definitely think that more birds are missed offline than with the wrong lead. Excuse me, rudely interrupted there. Brilliant selection of shots coming now, having everything from, see these like really high, to ones diving in on the decoys, birds quartering away coming from behind that have seen the hide. It's just everything you'd hope it could be, every style of shot. It was an 80-yarder. These are absolutely awesome. For a 5er wad, the kills 70-75 yarder, I'd say, and it quartering away, difficult shot, and it's come down, hit pretty hard through a quarter choke. They're just an awesome catch. I'm really impressed with them. Pretty happy with the combination of kit, to be honest. Just probably shooting as well as I've ever shot. Really testing birds today. I love it. Strong wind. Birds are a little bit spooky. We're out in the middle of the field. I know this is a pest control job, but it's just as good a shooting as you're ever going to get. Every shot in the book, every range, and when you have kit that's up to the job, it's just an absolute pleasure to be out here doing this. Oh, sun bit me. Well, we've 98 on the clicker. It's been an absolutely fantastic day. I'm going to shoot the 100 and then we're going to stop. I think you could shoot here for another 2-3 hours. You could easily shoot 150, but I want to pick up as many of these birds as I can. It's really warm today. It's 25-26 degrees. We've done quite a bit of picking up as we've gone, but I've probably 40 or 50 birds to try and pick, and only one dog with me, so I'm going to spend a couple of hours, pick a few, let him have a break, let him have a drink, and then pick a few more. But I don't want to shoot too many more because it's just not fair on the dog. It's going to be too hot, too hard to work. But yeah, 100, it's going to be a serious red letter day. Pressure's on now for the 100 one. Well, that's the end of what's been a brilliant day, and I had a lot of pressure on me today, sort of self-inflicted pressure. First show of a new series with a new channel, and yeah, a lot of pressure on my shooting, and to be honest, I'm really pleased the way the day's gone.